There is a version of surrender that looks completely convincing on the outside. You show up to church. You know the right words. You raise your hands during worship. You post scriptures. You call yourself a believer. And yet, something still feels like it's being held back. Something in you is still gripping, still negotiating, still quietly saying, God, not that part. And if you've ever felt that tension, that strange distance between knowing God and fully trusting Him, then this message was made for you. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share might be the most honest conversation you've had with your own heart in a long time. Before we go any further, I want to know where you're watching from today. Drop your country in the comments right now. Whether you're in the United States, the UK, Brazil, the Philippines, wherever God has you planted today, let me see you. And tell me, is it morning where you are? Afternoon? Are you watching this late at night when everything is quiet and your thoughts are louder than usual? Because sometimes God meets us in those quiet moments for a reason. Now, let's talk about surrender. Real surrender, not the performance of it, not the language of it, the actual giving over of your whole life into hands that are far more capable than yours. Sign number 1. You are still trying to control the outcome. Think about that for a second. You've prayed. You've asked God to move. But the moment things don't unfold the way you imagined, you panic. You start making backup plans. You start working your own angles. You start whispering, maybe I need to help God out a little. And I understand that feeling. I really do. Because waiting is uncomfortable. Uncertainty feels dangerous. And trusting a plan you cannot see, that takes something most of us are still developing. But here's what control actually reveals. It reveals that deep down, you don't fully believe God is enough. You believe He's good in theory, but in practice, in the middle of a job you're about to lose, a relationship that's falling apart, a diagnosis that came out of nowhere, you reach for the wheel. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 doesn't say trust in the Lord, and also keep one hand on the steering wheel. It says trust in the Lord with all your heart. All of it. Not part of it, not the spiritual-looking parts, while you quietly manage everything else. All. That's a heavy word when you really sit with it. Sign number 2. There are areas of your life that you have never once brought before God, and you know exactly which areas those are. That quiet knowing just moved in you, didn't it? There's a relationship you've been handling on your own terms, a financial decision you've made without praying, a dream you're chasing that God has never been invited into, an area of sin or struggle that you've sectioned off and labeled mine. Partial surrender is not surrender. It's negotiation. And God is not a negotiating partner. He is Lord. And lordship, real lordship, means every room in the house is His. Not just the living room where guests can see. The bedroom, the basement, the locked door you haven't opened in years. Some of you right now, you know there's a locked door. And every time the Holy Spirit walks toward it, you start talking louder. You start getting busy. You start worshiping harder, hoping He won't knock. But He always knocks. Because He loves you too much to leave that door closed forever. If that's you today, if there is a part of your life that has never been laid on the altar, type in the comments right now, Lord, I surrender that too. Let that be your prayer today. Sign number 3. You are more afraid of people than you are surrendered to God. This one is quiet. This one doesn't always show up loud. It shows up in the moment you don't speak up because you're worried what people will think. It shows up when you soften your faith to fit in. When you don't share what God is doing in your life because it might sound too intense. When you dress your Christianity down enough that nobody feels uncomfortable. And I'm not talking about being rude or aggressive. I'm talking about the slow, subtle compromise that happens when the fear of rejection quietly outranks the fear of God. Jesus said, "Whoever is ashamed of me and my words, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them." That's not a small statement. That's a direct connection between surrender and how you live publicly. Because a fully surrendered life doesn't look like fitting in perfectly. It looks like sticking out in all the right ways. Who in your life needs to see your faith and is only seeing a managed, careful version of it? Think about that. Sign number 4. You only fully trust God when life is going well. When things are comfortable, you're grateful. When prayers get answered quickly, you're worshipful. When the path is clear and the provision is visible, your faith is strong. But the moment the storm comes, the moment the answer doesn't arrive on your timeline, the moment God feels silent, something shifts. You start doubting whether He's still working. You start wondering if you did something wrong. You start quietly pulling back. And here's the truth, that surrender requires us to hold on to even when it's difficult. God is not more present in your good seasons than He is in your hard ones. He is just as active in the silence as He is in the celebration. Job lost everything. Everything. And in the deepest place of his suffering he said, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." That is not the language of a man whose faith is circumstantial. That is the language of a soul that has genuinely surrendered. And God met him there. He will meet you there too. If you're in a hard season right now, if you're watching this from a place of confusion or loss or waiting, I want you to drop this in the comments. God, I trust you even in this. Let someone else who's struggling see that declaration today. Sign number 5. You are waiting to surrender until you feel ready. Oh, this might be the most dangerous one of all, because readiness feels like a prerequisite. It feels responsible. I just need to get a few more things in order, Lord. I just need to feel more stable. I just need to understand a little more. Then I'll fully give it to you. But surrender was never designed to happen after the fear leaves. It happens in the middle of the fear. It happens before you understand. It happens before the plan is clear. Because if you wait until everything feels safe enough to let go, you will never let go. The disciples didn't fully understand where following Jesus would take them. They just went. Abraham didn't know where he was going. He just walked. Mary didn't know what saying yes to God would cost her. She just said yes. Surrender is not the absence of uncertainty. It is the decision to trust God in the presence of it. And maybe that's where you are right now. Standing at the edge of something, feeling the pull to trust and the pull to stay in control at the exact same time. And God is saying to you right now, not when you're ready, not when it makes sense, not when the fear is gone. He's saying, now, give it to me now, because I've been waiting, not to punish you for taking so long, not to make you feel ashamed for holding on. He's been waiting because he knows what waits for you on the other side of full surrender. And it is more than your best plan could ever produce. It is more than your tightest grip could ever protect. It is a life lived in the freedom of being fully known and fully held by the one who created you. Oh, that is what surrender opens the door to. Not a life without difficulty, but a life without the weight of carrying what was never meant to be yours to carry. So let me ask you one final question before you close this video. Is there something you've been holding back from God? Be honest with yourself right now, because he already knows. And he's not angry. He's not far away. He's right here, closer than your next breath. And he is saying, I can do more with your open hands than you have ever done with your closed fist. Let go. Trust him, not just with the easy parts, with all of it. If this message spoke to something real in you today, leave a comment that says, I surrender all, Lord, and mean it when you type it. Let this moment be more than a video you watched. Let it be the moment something shifted. God bless you, wherever you are in the world. You are not alone. And your full surrender is not the end of something. It is the beginning of everything.